inside this bottle, right? This bottle is holding an inner space. It is limiting the space, right? The answer is no. There is no space inside this bottle. Why? Because space is a continuum. You cannot divide space. There is no difference between the inner space and the outer space of the bottle. How do I know? See what I do now. Did I turn space upside down?
Prefer the glass, Raji.
Huh?
Prefer the glass.
No, that's fine. If you prefer, I can.
No.
Did I turn space upside down? Did I move space now? No. Nothing happens to space. I can only move the bottle, but I cannot move space. I cannot affect space in any way. Why? Because space is indivisible. It is a continuum. It is one. You see that, right? But the bottle creates the appearance of separation in space. The bottle creates the appearance of inner space versus outer space. There is no such a division. There is only one space. Can you see that? In the same way, if I am identifying, you see, it is like saying that the bottle is identifying with its inner space. There is no such a thing. There is only one space. If I am identifying myself with the 5 koshas, then the limitations of the 5 koshas become my limitations. The troubles and the problems of the 5 koshas become my troubles and problems. And therefore I suffer. In my true nature, I don't have these limitations. But as I identify with these limitations, I identify with these koshas, I become limited, and this is the source for suffering. This is how the Advaita Vedanta is looking at this question of the self, looking into the question of who am I? Who am I? I am that which lies beyond the 5 koshas, which is never limited by the 5 koshas. Because of ignorance, because of a wrong identification, I identify myself with these 5 koshas, and therefore I become limited by them. I experience suffering. If I want to overcome suffering, I have to recognize my true nature, I have to realize my true nature, and the way to do it here is by negating the 5 koshas as not being the self. The 5 koshas we're going to see are 5 parts of the personality. It is starting with the gross, the most gross appearance, which is the physical body, and it is going into more and more subtle aspects, as we are going to see later on. And we are not going to physically remove the 5 koshas. See? The fact that I identify with the physical body thinking this is myself, I don't need to kill the body or remove the body physically. It is a mental exercise that we are going to do in order to realize that the physical body is not actually my own self. Okay? Try to stay here. Don't go anywhere. That's the idea. Okay? During this retreat, a big chunk of this retreat, we are going to analyze these 5 koshas and try to incorporate it into our meditation practice to see and recognize how we identify with things and then how to disidentify from them.